on iTunes. Website is midnightrocks.com. You have links for the new CD, and we've been playing some big shows. We have the 10th of October, and we're recording a live DVD that night, so we'll have something else to put in the stocking come the holiday season.
That's awesome. So, Mark, you were telling me a couple weeks ago, I believe it was the end of September or something like that, you were playing this huge gig, and you're like, come down and check it out. And I'm like, man, I really want to swing it, but that was the week that Lane started school, so I couldn't do it. What was that all about?
The Land Rock and Metal Festival was fantastic. We played with some great bands, Circle to Circle, former members of Sabotage. That was a big rush for me, being a Sabotage fan back in high school. And basically loading our gear on stage as they're pulling theirs off was a pretty big rush. The great friends of ours, Seven Kingdoms, toured with Stradivarius last, was it March? And now they're in the Northeast. I'm not exactly sure who they're out with now, but they're fantastic. And a bunch of good bands down here that are local to Central Florida. It was a fantastic day, and we had a blast.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So
try to make it down.
I'm trying to, Mark. It's not easy. I have a fifth grader.
I know. That complicates things.
He finally passed out, which is good. So all right. Go ahead.
So how are things at 1699? Are you moved back into there, or what's the story?
I am. I moved back in, and the story is I'm adjusting. I have good days and I have bad days. You know how it is.
I know how it is.
It's different. I think Lane is adjusting the most because he started in the Bel Air school, and they don't have page numbers on their textbooks, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have to
I can't
count
even imagine.
Yeah, it's Appalachia.
Right. I remember.
Well, you know, country boy never dies, right?
Country boy, you know.
He just goes to Orlando and picks up a guitar and plays.
That's it. That's all. That's how it works. So yeah, we have the first single came out from the album for Freak. You can catch that on YouTube if you haven't seen the video yet. We had a great time making that, and we're looking.
We're going to post it.
We're looking forward to. Sweet, yes, please post it. We're up to almost 4,500 views.
Damn, Mark, that's good. You did that. What? Yeah. It was cold outside when you told me about that. It wasn't too long ago. Yeah.
That was in, our release date for the video was May 7th. And we had a great time doing it. We had a good vision for what we wanted to do with it, and the video team really went for it, and it was one of those things where everything just seemed to line up and fall into place.
Isn't that the video where you dressed up like a butcher and you were killing people?
Actually, that's Alex. He was the one who was...
Yeah, the guy in the bad mood, remember? The drummer with the bad mood.
Well, Daniel's a drummer. He plays with Brimstone Coven, so you guys probably have a lot to talk about.
That's cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, our video won a lot of awards, though. We won, I think about 9 of the 14 or 15 categories. So
that's cool.
I think the best part of the whole thing was that we were there with, this is Jim, with all these younger kids that were doing a lot of your typical hip-hop scene kind of things, and the music that definitely wasn't us. We were definitely the old coots at this place, and it was kind of taking us back, and how people just thought that this was like the coolest thing ever. It's kind of like when someone drags out the Atari 2600 at a Wii party. It's like it's like, wow, that's really old, but damn it, it's cool at the same time.
Hey, are you guys on iTunes?
Yes.
How do we do
Amazon.
Okay,
Yes,
Amazon. Okay.
iTunes.
Some people in the chat room, they're asking where to go buy your music, so we have to tell them.
Amazon's better.
Okay.
iTunes,
So what do they search?
Amazon. If you want a real CD, you can go to our website, midnightrocks.com, and you can get a real CD. And if you actually like the music, you can sample it there, and we can send you an autographed CD too. So.
Yeah, send us a note with your order. Please sign CD, and we will.
Awesome. That's cool. That's awesome, guys. So
and
they
it's
just,
even on Google Play for those people with Android.
Droid? Yeah, I like my Droid. I don't like the iPhones. I like Droids.
iPhone all the way.
Well,
No.
I have a love-hate relationship with it.
I know, right?
you can get it on Google Play.
Okay, Google Play. That's cool. Okay. And just Stroke of Midnight.
And almost every outlet has it out there, just about. I mean, all the big ones anyway.
And if they really like it, we'll be glad to come to their town and play it for them live.
That would be.
If they want to work that out with us, our touring department would love to work that out if it came to that. So,
our next trick is the Midwest coming your way. Hopefully here.
Load up the RV.
We're loading everybody up and we're rolling.
Hey guys, how do you book your gigs? Who calls who to book a gig?
I know a lot of people in town down here now, so I have a lot of friends that do that kind of thing, and so I do a lot of that.
Okay, well, how do they get a hold of you so you could play?
Oh, just call me, say, hey, Mark.
Sorry about that.
How about your number? How about your number, Mark?
Oh, 407-403-0059. Give me a ring.
Hey, do that
we're
again.
We're pretty savvy with social media sites too, and we've got bumper stickers out. We do a lot of posting around town, and we're not shy about posting our social media outlets. You can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Facebook, and a lot of our fans and a lot of people who are interested in having us play really get in touch with us through those means, which has been just in a lot of ways, a lot of people don't like the social media aspect of it, but at the same time, I think about when I was doing this 20 years ago in Memphis, and it was just so difficult to reach fans. You had to have that one contact with a DJ, and they'd play you one time and ditch you. Now you don't have to rely on that so much. If you're out there and you're personable and you treat your fans like they're your friends, and you make them feel like family when they're there, they love to go on there and just check out and see what you're doing. So it's been a godsend.
Yeah, it's a good way to go.
Definitely not like it was back when we started.
Yeah, back when we started, I mean, the idea of making your own CD and marketing it yourself was not even back in 88, 89. It was not even a possibility, and now it's such commonplace. And I still have to take myself back and go, oh my God, did we really just do this on our own without a promoter and without a manager?
Times have definitely changed.
But you can do it. It's definitely a strange feeling, but when you get it done, it's nice.
Definitely nice.
Yeah, we've had our song "Freak" with the video that we won. We had it played on our local radio station here a few times, so a lot of people out here are starting to catch on to us too.
You guys said something about the tour people that you have for setting up tours and you're trying to come to the Midwest and things like that. I know around here we do show trading, you know what I mean? We'll bring someone in to do a show and then, try and get a show there. Do you guys do things like that with bands, 4 bands, or anything like that?
Down here in the Southeast, yes. We have a lot of friends that feels like everybody I know plays an instrument. And you network with other bands, and before you know it, I know that there isn't really any such thing as a Rolodex anymore, but eventually comes to pass that, somewhere out there inside there's a Cyberdex or something. And
it's called Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. And before you know it, you're booking with other bands in other areas, and they come here, and it's certainly a good way to never hurts, to to get into New Year's, that's the quest, is you spend all your time and effort to get it to work, and then once it's finally worked, then okay, now what are we going to do? Now let's go take it to the world, and that's it's definitely an adventure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, we also work with like Orlando bands down here. He has a couple different places that he always has like a second Saturday gig or other gigs around town, and we'll hook up with him and some of the bands that we've played with before. We play with them pretty regularly, sometimes actually.
So do you guys have a pretty decent scene down there, musically?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Compared to some other areas, when we did the Land Metal Festival, it was interesting. There was a band, Paralysis, that we saw that was probably about 15 years younger than us, out of Miami, and apparently they've got nothing down there. So, it's not doing what we do. I mean, it's very difficult in today's music industry to even play live. It's just so difficult because everything is about the instant gratification. Again, social media has been a blessing and a curse. But I think the fact that musicians stick together a lot better now, and like I said, a lot of us, me and Mark, I know, and Alex and Marty, we've been doing this, some of us since the '80s, playing with bands on and off, and it's funny because back in the day, I mean, bands were very much in their own social circles, but now we're kind of like a much bigger community. And it's nice because we all work together. We find a group of bands that like working with us, and we support each other, and that brings a lot of people in. And I think that's been very helpful. And as you said earlier about sharing shows, and that's something that we moving forward we'd probably like to do more of, because it's definitely helpful. You get a band from say Ohio wants to come to Orlando and play, and they don't know anybody, and yet we know a bunch of people, so they network with us. We get a show here with them. We have our local people come and see them, and then they can, it's something like it works out up there, and that circumvents a lot of the management issues that you have, and so we're a lot more free to do our own thing.
In this day and age, management, unless you're Metallica, it's one of those things that if you can make a few calls and you can put two and two together, when you wake up in the morning, you can do a lot of that yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know of a lot of bands down here that have a good plan, and they seem to be working their plan, and things seem to be working better, but then they get hooked into someone that doesn't really have their best interest at heart, and things go south fast.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like the Project Independence tour that we're going to be playing with that video deal. That tour is going all across the United States, and what they did is they picked out certain bars in certain towns, and they've got their, the bands that draw the people, and they reached out to us on Facebook and asked us if we wanted to play with them, and so they're hitting like a lot of towns with a lot of their popular, local bands, and they're the headliners. So
that's cool. When does that start?
That's the video one that we're doing on October 10th. They've started it a couple of weeks ago, and it's like in the Midwest now. I think they were in Kansas 2 days ago or something.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's another way. If you got any best practices of how you guys do gigs, shoot them our way. Maybe we can make it work down here too.
Best
Never
practices
know,
are always good.
Well, see, the thing is, like we did this video project, which was great because we had to pay to do it. And of course, being in metal, the pay to play is kind of as much as we like to rip our tongues out to say it, it's kind of a necessity to get when you're doing original material and you don't have management. The pros of working without management is that we can pick and choose our own shows, and if we're busy or we're otherwise occupied, we can say no. If it's something we don't want to do, we can say no. On the other hand, we have unlimited opportunity to say yes to just about any gig we want. And like this video project, if we had management like I had years ago, we would have had to go through them to say, hey, can we do this? And they'd say, well, you can do it, but you have to pay our people this much. And by doing this, we got a video that I think everyone in the band will agree. I remember when I saw the video for the first time, I was unfortunately had to be absent to a lot of it because I had to work, but they made it look like I was there for the whole thing. And when I saw the quality of what they had done, if we couldn't have done that if we paid $5-6 grand, we wouldn't have got a video of that quality. There's just no way. And so that's one of the nice things about being independent is you have a lot of other opportunities that, management may or may not tell you about. The management's always going to tell you about what's best for them and you, and usually them first.
Right.
And that's been my experience.
Their 15% comes before your 85 in most cases.
And that's of the gigs they even bother to tell you about.
And by the way, the video that he's referring to is for our song Freak. If you go on YouTube, look up Stroke of Midnight Freak, you can see the video we're talking about.
Thank you, Marty. That's something I should have done. Yes.
Yeah, we got to load it up.
Marty was awesome in that. I didn't realize, it wasn't until that video came out that I realized our singer had such incredible acting ability. I have to tell you, I sat there and I was like watching him and just, making the subtle facial expressions he made. I was like, wow, man, this guy can act. I'm like, you guys did this in how much time?
Yeah, I was acting crazy. Yeah, that's it. It was an act.
It was just amazing because it was a complete. I remember the first night we went out and you watched the video and it looks like we had all this stuff all planned out. But the fact was we were supposed to get together about 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. I just come off a 12-hour shift. I think the other guy's been working too, and 10 o'clock turned into midnight. Midnight turned into 1 a.m. and they were scouting for a place in Orlando to start filming. And I heard, we're going to be filming at Full Sail University. So I'm thinking, we're going to have this awesome sound stage, and this is going to be great. And I think I was the first person to arrive. I think it was about 1:20 in the morning by the time we got there, and Alex got arrived at the same time I did with his drums. And we were looking at it, and I'm like, I'm inside the building. I'm like, it's nice air-conditioned sound. This is going to be in style. And they're like, no, we're going to be in the alley next to the stage here. And I'm like half asleep. I'm like, wait, we're going to set up in this alley?
Yeah, they wanted the gritty feel.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm saying, you know what? I'm not seeing how this is going to work for the video, but I trust that these guys are professionals, and sure enough, they knew exactly what they were doing, and we did our part. We did the music part. We listened to them exclusively. We didn't question anything they told us to do. We just did it, and they didn't question our music or the concept. Marty and Mark, I know, had brought the concept up, and I'm sure Alex had too. I was relatively new to the band, so I had an idea what they were going to do. But it was just amazing when the whole thing came out. It was like you would think we'd planned this together for weeks. And we had about 15 minutes to actually talk to them to start this thing going.
Yeah, this project was filmed all within 48 hours. It was the 48-hour video project. So that whole video, start to finish, was done in 2 days.
That's quick.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, it was like they had groups of film people. I don't remember how many there were, but they were film crews. They would listen to music of local artists. You had to submit a CD in advance with some songs. They would listen to it, and basically the film crew would choose which bands they wanted to work with, and they were all paired based on compatibility with what the film crew thought they could do with it. Am I wrong? Anybody on that?
No, they drew numbers out of a hat.
But they could always reject the one they got, correct?
Each one of them drew 2 numbers. The first band drew 2 numbers. The first filmmakers drew 2 numbers. Then the second ones drew 2 numbers. They opened the first one. It was us. They didn't even look at the second one. They threw it back in the hat.
But I just know Benny Ten and Nutter Quib. They were just man. It's like, God, if these guys are amateurs, I've actually been on a professional stage, and I did not see guys who knew their stuff as well as these guys. And they were young kids for the most part, and they were just right spot on, just really knew what to do. And we were very fortunate to roll into that. Marty did a great job of picking that out and finding it, and it just worked out.
That's good. That's real good. So we're going to go and listen to this. We're going to end the song with the YouTube video. But thanks so much for coming on, and I think there's some questions in the chat room. I see a lot of New Orleans coming through. But, before we go, hey, Mark, I was thinking, if you guys do come down here, hook up with Mike and play at Nicola's Axe, man.
Oh, yeah, that would be something else.
We could totally set that up.
And yes, we do have T-shirts and all kinds of stuff for sale.
If we got a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's on.
We would like a T-shirt, please. Would you please send us a T-shirt with our cigars? Have a few brews. Jolly old time.
Right.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Really,
Thank you very much.
Yep,
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All
Well, everyone. Well, hey, guys, everybody else, thanks for listening and calling in. That was great.
Don't forget MidnightRocks.com.
Here we go. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.